And ladies and gentlemen, we now begin with our keynote address, Integrate, Uncomplicate, Innovate with Tata Communications Digital Fabric. I'd like to request the speaker, Mr. Arijit Bonnerjee, SVP and Head India Region, Tata Communication, to kindly come forward and be on stage. The stage is yours, sir. Do you need some help?
A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't be more delighted to be here with you all today. And as I was walking in, my memory took me back almost 2 decades to the year 2002, when the first edition of INFOCOM was held. And I happened to be a part of that. And it's so heartening to see the event having grown in stature and size over the last so many years. And I would really like to congratulate the entire ABP group, Mr. Mohapatra, Mr. Chakraborty, and the entire INFOCOM team for making this happen. The theme for this year's event is sustainable disruption, and it will be reasonable to say that this platform has seen so many flavors of disruption over the last 2 decades. Back in 2002, Google was still a small search engine company. Amazon was still an online bookstore retailer. Tesla was not even formed. Smartphones didn't exist. NVIDIA was known mostly for their gaming graphics card. And it was that year when government decided to sell 25% of stake of BSNL to the Tata Group for Tata Communications to come up later. And we were in the last lap of the third industrial revolution, which was getting really powered by the internet. Fast forward a decade, and in sometime in 2012, we had the advent of the fourth industrial revolution, which is when most of these exponential technologies came into our lives. But it will be reasonable to say that it's only in the last 3 or 4 years where we are really seeing the exponential impact of these technologies in our daily lives, because now they are complementing each other and accelerating each other's adoption in the industry. The third industrial revolution, interestingly, lasted for more than 50 years. The fourth industrial revolution is undergoing right now into its 12th year. But we are already now entered the fifth industrial revolution. If the fourth industrial revolution was all about driving efficiency, driving productivity, driving optimization, driving new revenue streams, driving profitability, the fifth industrial revolution is really going to be about a symbiotic relationship of human creativity and all these advanced technologies. It's going to be about collaboration of humans and machines to really uplift societal well-being, but do it in a manner which is ethical, which is trustworthy, which is sustainable, and which is resilient. So if the focus going ahead is going to be human-centric, then it's very important for us to really look at, and for organizations to see how you and me are thinking today and how you and me are going to behave and react to various circumstances today. So there was an interesting report by Accenture this year about life trends. And among the other findings, there were 3 very interesting points that came out. First was enterprises getting impacted by the cost of hesitations you and me are having in interacting with their enterprise. Almost 60% of the respondents have been questioning the authenticity of the information available itself. Almost 33% have experienced some kind of a scam with their personal data. So digital trust is going to be an absolute key for us to succeed during the fifth industrial revolution. Impatience economy. All of us want instant gratification. A big percentage of respondents wanted to really quick solutions to attain their life and financial goals than the traditional methods. Almost 68% said that they would really like to engage in an experiential manner with enterprises. They would want to hear about their products and services from similar people online. Then there was a third fact which came out, which was very interesting, which was around dignity of work. 49% of the employees are saying that they are only hearing improvement of productivity as the key thing from their management, but not so much about customer value and workforce development, which is actually resulting in a depletion of almost 7% of employee engagement in 2024, which is a big number. So employee experience is being ignored, which is then going to impact profitability. These are very interesting trends that came out in the report. And if going ahead, if it's going to be human-centric, then obviously how the enterprises would react to these human emotions is going to define how their IT imperatives are going to be shaped, right? And it's no surprise that CIOs like you are today really focusing on, the topmost focus is customer experience. There is also a continued focus to adopt next-gen technologies like AI, ML, IoT, but just adoption of these technologies would no longer give you the competitive advantage. It's really going to be the harmonious collaboration of human intelligence and artificial intelligence, which is going to result in an overall society uplift that is going to give you the competitive advantage. I think that's a very, very important point to note. Agility and innovation, of course, goes without saying, is a big focus area for all the CIOs. You and me want to deal with organizations where we are confident that their overall compliance and security framework are intact, so that my data, my information is lying safely with you all. So compliance and security is a top focus area for CIOs. Lastly, another very interesting thing, employees are saying, I will be most productive in a place and time of my choice. Now, I know there is a religious debate going on about return to office, which will continue to be there, and synchronous collaboration will, of course, be very, very important. But I think it's clearly showing, research is showing that there is a clear 26% improvement in productivity of organizations which are encouraging asynchronous collaboration, which is meaning they're allowing their employees to work from anywhere and anytime and contribute to the overall collaborative agenda. But what is being seen, in spite of all these initiatives that are being taken, there seems to be a gap between what boardrooms and your CEOs are expecting and how the IT initiatives are delivering result. Right? There was a report from PwC which said that 52% of the CEOs are feeling that IT initiatives are taking too long to complete. And all of you may be able to relate to this. 59% feel that they are taking too long to realize value. And then a very interesting thing has come up in a recent IBM survey. 72% CEOs are actually thinking this disruption that is being caused is a risk rather than opportunity. Our intuitive feeling always was that disruption is an opportunity, but actually the survey says that the disruption, people are seeing it as a risk rather than an opportunity. And why does this lag exist? Why are organizations feeling that disruption is a risk rather than an opportunity? I think there are 5 fundamental reasons why this lag is existing between IT initiatives and their ability to realize value. First is fragmented systems. In the last decade or so, there has been a run to the finish of going and adopting the latest application, movement to cloud, adopting the latest security architecture, network, etc., which has resulted in islands of IT infrastructure in every organization. And that fragmented system could be a reason why people are really worried to look at disruptions, because any disruption happens, you'll have to go and change your systems, and it's not going to be changed in one system, it's going to be changed across multiple fragmented systems. The missing lens of experience. For a long time, IT initiatives, which all of us have gone and done, have focused on efficiency and optimization and not so much about customer experience. Ideally, both should exist, but when your point of origin is optimization and efficiency, sometimes the customer experience lens is really missed out. Lack of orchestration and visibility and control. Each one of you would have multiple cloud landing zones, you will have multiple networks, and each one of them would have their own security architectures, you will have multiple collaboration tools, but there is a clear lack of orchestration, visibility and control across this fragmented infrastructure, which sometimes is a bottleneck. Harnessing data and intelligence. I think this is very important. And to be fair, most of the organizations have had a lot of focus around this area, right? There are data architectures and intelligence architectures. Most of the organizations have invested. But I think there has been a paradigm shift. Just a few years back, we used to say that 90% of the relevant data in an organization actually lies within an organization. But the fact is today that more than 70% of the data which is relevant to an organization is getting generated outside the organization at the edge. So the data and the AI architecture which was implemented may not be the right data and AI architecture which should be implemented going forward, because your data now is no longer getting generated mostly inside, but it's generated mostly outside. Lastly, when you are opening up your organization to various ecosystems, I think building digital trust across the ecosystem is important. So your cyber security framework, your data privacy framework, and your regulatory compliance framework becomes very, 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 very important. Now, how do you address this lag? How do you address all these issues? We believe the answer is in creating hyper-connected ecosystem. Now, what is an hyper-connected ecosystem, right? Connected ecosystems have always existed. We all know that the airlines were always connected to the taxi fleets. They were always connected to the ticketing agencies. The hospitals were always connected to the insurance companies. So connected ecosystems always existed. All of us are a part of it. But hyper-connected ecosystems are different. Hyper-connected ecosystems have all their stakeholders and participants interact real time. They are always on 24/7, and they are interacting with each other from anywhere. The geographical boundaries, the physical boundaries do not make any difference. They are able to seamlessly collaborate across different channels, across different time zones of their choice. And lastly, most importantly, they are continuing to learn from each other. They are intelligent, they are continuing to learn from each other, and that's how we define an hyper-connected ecosystem. And a recent even EY survey shows that companies who have gone to build up or participate in these hyper-connected ecosystems have been able to drive almost a 1.5 times overall cost reduction and almost 2 times of incremental profit. Now, as Tata Communications, we have been working with enterprises across the globe in helping them to either create or be a part of these hyper-connected ecosystems with the help of our digital fabric, which fundamentally puts together various tools, solutions, platforms, and technology expertise to build a unified and a simplified technology foundation for these hyper-connected ecosystems, which then has enhanced visibility, enhanced security, and ease of manageability. Our digital fabric has 4 sub-fabrics. The first one is the network fabric, and this includes our programmable, intelligent, on-demand, and resilient global network backbone. This also includes our LAN and WAN and managed Wi-Fi services. We are also now moving towards our entire portfolio being available as a service. So there is a lot of interest today in consuming network as a service, which has never been the case. So our portfolio and our interaction with customers are moving towards discussions around network. How do you consume network as a service? We've never heard of this earlier, right? But how do you really consume network as a service? And then lastly, there is again a movement towards, and we have taken a pole position and one of the first in the industry to come up with a unified hosted SaaS solution. Because as we are seeing, a lot of customers like yours now wanted to have an integrated architecture around network security and their overall network investment. So we have a very mature, unified hosted SaaS offering for customers who are looking to an unified network and network security implementation. Coming to our cloud and security fabric, we have our ISO cloud platform, which is a scalable platform with a very, very mature stack of infrastructure as a service and platform as a service capabilities. We are also building purpose-built clouds. So in India, we have 2 community clouds, one for the financial services industry and one for the government. The one for the government, which is our government community cloud, runs some of the country's largest government applications, and I will talk about one of it in my subsequent slides. And our financial services cloud are being used by a lot of banks and other financial services organizations to run their core applications. We are also now making our full stack cloud functionalities available at the edge, so that customers have the freedom to run their cloud native workloads where they need to be run, be it on the cloud or be it on the edge, as a complete continuum. So we are having a full-fledged edge offering now, which is a replication of our entire cloud stack of PaaS and IaaS that we have. Lastly, we have also partnered with NVIDIA, and we are building up a sovereign cloud for India with again a full set of GPUs and AI Studio built on top of it. We are having a breakout session in the second half today where we'll talk more about that. Coming to our interaction fabric, this is all about customers' interactions and all about employee interaction. On the customer interaction part, we have our omni-channel platform called KOLKATA, which is a fully microservices-enabled orchestration layer that can sit on any of your systems and can help all your channels seamlessly, integrately, real-time talk to each other. So whether your customer is interacting on WhatsApp, on mobile, through the web, through emails, through your contact center, this layer can sit on top and ensure that there is seamless, real-time, omni-channel collaboration which is happening across all the channels. We also have our InstaCC contact center offering, where we are deploying large-scale next-gen contact centers for our customers. On the employee side, we have a host of tools and platforms that we are working along with our cloud voice infrastructure to set up collaboration workloads and infrastructure for our customers. Lastly, on our IoT fabric, our IoT platform, by the way, global IoT platform runs more than 800,000 devices today globally, which are powering smart cities and smart infrastructures across the globe. And with our eSIM offering, which is called our Move platform, we are actually powering connected airlines, we are powering connected cars, and a lot of other connected industries. And again, I will talk about one of our very relevant examples to you all very shortly. All our fabrics have pervasive and deep AI capabilities that have got inbuilt into them, and there is a very, very robust layer of security which we have built across all our fabrics. So our customers like you can consume our fabric either as a whole through APIs, or you can consume this fabric even at an individual level, or as a combination. The idea is to really, like I said, provide that simplified, unified, enhanced security with enhanced security and manageability technology foundation for you to take your organization to the next level of creating a hyper-connected ecosystem. Let me now take a few examples to bring to life what we mean by some of this and how we are really working with some of the biggest names globally and in India to create these hyper-connected ecosystems. The first one, I'm sure all of you would be able to relate to very well. It's in one of India's largest quick commerce aggregators, and they almost have they have a 2.5 billion GMV, gross merchandise value, almost more than close to 26 lakhs delivery a day, 3 lakh delivery partners, and obviously the organization wanted to move and double this entire numbers in revenue and reach in the next couple of years. But they had faced some inherent challenges. One, they had a complex set of applications, almost 40 applications, right? They had 30 call centers, outsourced call centers across 50 cities. So imagine if you as a customer is calling or a delivery partner is calling their contact center, the contact center agent had to navigate through 30 plus, 40 plus applications to respond to you. As a result, obviously, almost 10% of their calls were not resolved at the first instance, right? There was complete lack of visibility of operations. The call waiting time was almost 10 minutes, more than 10 minutes. Imagine you and me wanting to order a food and then we have to wait for 10 minutes to order, or some wrong order has got delivered and we have to wait for 10 minutes to reach a contact center agent, right? So it's obviously a painful customer experience. They were paying to their contact center partners based on number of logged in hours of the agents, and they found there was almost an 11% logged in hour discrepancy because of this completely heterogeneous mix of the contact center that they had. We worked with them to create this hyper-connected ecosystem with our InstaCC contact center offering and our KOLKATA platform to create that ecosystem between the restaurants, their delivery partners, their contact center agents, and most importantly, you and me, which are their customers, right? And this gave them tangible benefits, right? From a 10% of calls not resolved in the first instance, that number came down to 0.7%, which is substantial, right? The average handling time of a call came down by 30 seconds, which effectively meant that the contact center agents were now more productive. They could take more calls, right? The average hold time, there was an 8-minute reduction. You saw average hold time was 10 minutes, that came down by 8 minutes to just 2 minutes. And obviously, all this led to a 15% improvement in their agent productivity. Their login hour discrepancy from 11% came down to less than 1%, right? So overall, there was a hugely improved operational efficiency with a consolidated application layer, a consolidated CRM, our omnichannel platform, which finally, obviously, resulted in them having their NPS scores high, but also made life easier for you and me while interacting with this organization. The second example I want to talk about is National Health Authority, which is an apex organization in the country to implement health projects. And I want to talk about two of them under the Ayushman Bharat program. They rolled out the Prime Minister Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, which is about giving insurance cards and insurance coverage to a certain section of the society. And then they also, under the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, wanted to create a seamless ecosystem between doctors, the practitioners, between the patients and the hospitals, right? A true hyper-connected ecosystem. They had almost 55 crores beneficiary to be served as a part of the insurance scheme, right? And some of the challenges they faced was almost 6 crores. They realized almost 6 crores of Indian population was being pushed to poverty because they didn't have a health coverage. That's a huge number, right? So obviously they really wanted to create a very robust, secure and scalable infrastructure which could be accessed from anywhere, anytime, with all the stakeholders in the ecosystem completely connected. And obviously any program of the government required an accelerated launch as of yesterday. And most importantly, since the requirements would keep changing, new features and functionalities would have to be kept adding, they wanted an architecture which was completely future ready.
So,
right?
May I request you to kindly summarize, sir, please?
Yes.
Yes, we're really running short of time.
And as a result, I think the health, what we have been able to really deliver to them is almost 36 crores of health records have been created and maintained today. 6.8 crores beneficiaries have got hospitalized. The number of hospitalization they could do in a day was around 2 lakhs. From there, it has gone to 18 lakhs a day. So overall, this is a classic example of a hyper-connected infrastructure for running some of the largest at-scale government applications in India. I know we are running lack of time, so I will skip 2 of them and come to the last one, which is our partnership with one of the largest sports federations in the world, which is Formula 1. Now, I'm sure there would be Formula 1 fans in this room. And on a typical race day, and Formula 1 has almost 24 races running across 20 countries, across 5 continents in a calendar year. On a typical race day, your data which is captured from the track is from almost 90 plus video feeds and 150 plus audio feeds. And more than 500 terabytes of data get generated, right? Earlier what used to happen is this entire data used to get generated and then used to get, and they needed to have all their employees doing the data production on the track itself. So almost 200 people used to be there for every race, almost 2 tons of production equipment, because the production used to happen at site and then the entire thing used to get broadcasted to 60 plus broadcasters before finally reaching you and me. And there was a lot of jitter and the overall customer experience of you and me was not very good, because we wanted to now see it on the television, on the mobile or any other form factor. We partnered with Formula 1 and helped them create a production facility in UK. So today all the production happens centrally in UK, then gets distributed to the broadcasters, from where through our CDN network it reaches you and me, and we are able to have a jitter-free experience. What has it really led to? One, today they don't need 200 people to travel. That reduction of people requirement to travel every time, imagine, as an employee I have to travel 12 times in a year to really, show Formula 1 to all of us. That has come down, which has led to employee productivity and employee experience. And most importantly, this is helping them to meet their sustainable goals of the carbon footprint by 2020, because now they no longer need to carry 2 tons of freight for every race that is getting delivered. So these were some of the examples that I wanted to share with you all, where we are really helping customers across the globe create these connected ecosystems. I would really like to thank you all for listening into these conversations, and we will be absolutely delighted to work with all of you in helping you create your own hyper-connected ecosystems and help you integrate, uncomplicate, and innovate. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arijit Bonnerjee. May I request you to kindly remain on stage, and I'll request Mr. K.K. Mohapatra, Head INFOCOM, to kindly come forward and present a memento to Mr. Arijit Bonnerjee. Thank you very much for this very interesting session. We apologize that we have to rush through, and you couldn't do the full presentation, but we have more presentations during the entire day. Thank you, sir.